You're on mute, Pam.
I was muted by the host.
Not me.
This has been something I said. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited to have another in our series of, we call them Zoom Power Hours, that started at the beginning of the pandemic. And we offer a lot of different content. It started with how to use Zoom, and it included, gosh, we had, town hall meetings with the Bucks County commissioners and anything that is of interest to our members. And the education and technology committees have worked really hard to present these topics for you. So we're very excited. Whoop, we've got some folks who aren't muted. Please mute. Thanks. So anyway, today we've got a very hot topic for you today, and our speaker comes to you with a great deal of experience. Alex Shnayder, I'm sorry, can staff please mute anyone who is not muted? Thank you. Alex Shnayder is an attorney with Shnayder and Associates LLC in Feasterville, PA. He is also a licensed real estate agent and is licensed to teach real estate continuing ed in Pennsylvania. He concentrates his law practice in the areas of real estate, short sales, land use, landlord-tenant, broker liability, property tax appeals, and residential and commercial sales and acquisitions. He also offers internal training and risk management seminars for local real estate offices. And he is a frequent and popular instructor for BCAR's school, the Bucks County Real Estate Institute. Alex was the 2015 president of BCAR. He is a director for the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors, and he is also a director representing BCAR on the board of the National Association of Realtors. He currently sits as the chairman of the Board of Trustees for the Bucks County Real Estate Institute, and he was the 2019-2020 chair of the Suburban Realtors Alliance, where he currently sits on the board. I'm so delighted to welcome Alex today to talk about this wonderful new program, ChatGPT. So take it away, Alex. Looking forward to this.
Thanks, Pam. All right, everybody should see this screen in front of you. It's our entry into ChatGPT for realtors. So I want to kind of give a little bit of a background.
The seller one obviously is.
Guys, can you? So the one thing is there's going to be quite a bit of people on here today. This seems to be a fairly popular topic. Presumably, it's not just because I'm instructing it, but probably because of the material itself. So if you could please just make sure that you stay muted, I'd greatly appreciate it. This is intended to be a very superficial kind of view from 30,000 feet on what ChatGPT is. Because the sheer volume of interest in it, I don't know where everybody's background is in it. So I'm going to take you kind of step by step through some of the basics of it and kind of talk about what potentially ChatGPT could do for your business as a real estate licensee, and also potentially sort of some of the back of the house type things. So we're going to try to fly through some of it. I'll try to provide some answers for you on specific questions you might have, and we'll see how this goes. Maybe we'll offer a more advanced version of this some point in the future. But it's good to see a lot of you guys on here. I recognize a lot of names, many people much brighter than me. Kevin Giuliano, talking to you over there. All right, guys. So let's start with the presentation here. So first question is, what is ChatGPT, right? Other than the hot new topic of conversation and things you guys discuss in your cocktail parties. So it's revolutionary, right? And I use that sincerely. It is a revolutionary piece of technology. I think in the course of our lifetime, we've seen several pieces of technology that have really revolutionized the way we communicate and learn and live. You know, the internet. I would say the iPhone is one of them as well. Please stay muted. Thank you. And I think ChatGPT is the next iteration of that revolutionary chain of technology. It's an artificial intelligence, which means it learns as it starts to communicate and teaches you things and communicates with you. It learns and it gets smarter, right? So that's the fear piece that a lot of people have, where they think it's the rise of the machines. It's capable of understanding and generating human-like text. So you enter in a question in natural language and it responds to you in natural language. It's like having a text conversation with a friend of yours that happens to be 10 billion times smarter than you. Ultimately, it's owned by a company called OpenAI, and I'm going to talk about what their position is and how this information, how you can get onto ChatGPT as well in a minute. It was launched recently, right? It was launched as recently as November 30th of 2020. So, without doing real hard math, you're talking about December, January, February. I mean, it's about 3 months old. This thing got super popular super quickly, and I'll show you in a minute just how quick. So the original version that, or at least the version that I had originally started using, was ChatGPT 3.0, or maybe even 3.5. I don't even know at that point. On March 14th, so just a little over a week ago, OpenAI released the newest version, which is GPT-4. GPT-4 is the most advanced of their architecture. We went from 3.0, 3.5 to 4.0. The 4.0 is available currently only if you're a subscriber to the OpenAI's program, and I'll explain what that means in a second as well. But ultimately, ChatGPT 4 is only available for paid subscriptions. The examples I'm going to be showing you today are going to be based on the default ChatGPT 3.5, only because 4.0 is a little bit slower in response time, and there's limitations currently on how much you can use 4.0 because of the sheer volume of people that have been signing up for it. So how does GPT work, and what is GPT? GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. So it's an AI language model that's trained on a massive data set of text from the internet. The idea is that it creates natural language understanding as a deep understanding of human language, enabling it to interpret and process text inputs accordingly. It also has natural language generation, so it's capable of generating human-like text in a conversational manner. It basically processes input one word at a time versus waiting for you to put out an entire thought and then respond with what it considers to be the best algorithmic response to what you might be looking for. It's predictive. It's trying to guess what you're writing next or guess what you're asking, and it's going to provide you with the information that it feels is going to be most relevant to what it is that you're asking or going to ask. It uses its knowledge of language to predict the most likely next word or phrase. Like I was saying, it predicts what you're going to say, and then it takes that information and it refines it. And if you don't receive the information exactly on point, like of what you were looking for, you can follow up with an additional question, and GPT will respond to you. So it also takes that information that you're feeding it, that it's been fed over this large data set, and it creates original text and draws on its vast knowledge to give you, hopefully, the response that you're looking for. So just how popular is ChatGPT?
Say that again.
So just how popular, I'm assuming that wasn't for me, but I'll answer anyway. Just how popular is ChatGPT? So 100 million users is sort of we'll say the bar. Please make sure you guys are muted. Thanks. So to get to 100 million users, Netflix, which we all love and watch all the time, took Netflix 10 years to get to 100 million users. Gmail, I mean, it's ubiquitous. Everybody uses it. have used it for years. It took Gmail 5 years to get to 100 million users. Twitter, same thing. Everybody uses it, or now people don't use it, whatever. 5 years it took to get to 100 million users. Facebook, also another platform that everybody tends to use. So, and has used for years. Hang on, guys, I just got to move this screen here. Four and a half years for Facebook. WhatsApp, 3.5 years to get to 100 million. Instagram, 2.5 years to get to 100 million users. TikTok, and I know all you guys do TikTok. I've seen your videos. I'm ashamed to say, 9 months. ChatGPT, 2 months to get to 100 million users. In the month of January, on average, it had 13 million active users per day. 13 million per day. So you can see that you would imagine that just based purely on these statistics, on these numbers, you can see that the more people learn about this, the more they hear about it, or the more they want to try it, they go on, sign up. The cost of entry is nothing, which I'll show you in a minute. So in the beginning, when you first go on and start trying to mess around with it and play with it, you might notice that it's that you're having a hard time getting on, that we'll say the lines are busy, right? There's not enough bandwidth to handle the amount of people that are getting through to it, and it continues to grow, which is why OpenAI created the subscription-based model in addition to the free model. But in the beginning, when I started messing around with it initially in mid-December-ish, it was sort of a crapshoot as to whether you can get on or not. But that's just because of the sheer amount of people that are on it. So I say that it's revolutionary, and it's also a renaissance man. How smart is ChatGPT? GPT-4 scored in the top 10% of bar exams in the United States. It ranked among 0.5% of students on the US Bio Olympiad, which is a well-known biology type Olympic. GPT-4 scored 1,400, just over 1,400 out of 1,600 on the SATs. Scored in the 99th percentile in verbal section of the GREs. Scored a B on a Wharton MBA exam. Passed the U.S. medical licensing exam. That was 3.5 was when they did the study on that. The 4.0 wasn't available yet. There's actually a full study and link on how it took the U.S. medical licensing exam. I say it's a renaissance man because it also passed introductory certified advanced sommelier exams at rates of 92%, 86%, and 77%. So, this is a very real and sophisticated type thing, and what isn't covered in just looking at these statistics is that the speed at which it does it. I mean, it will spit this information out in seconds, right? So you'll input the information and it provides a response in seconds. So continue with some of the basics. It's available directly from openai.com. So if you're looking to go try it, just you point your browser to openai.com, and in openai.com, and on the top of the website, you'll see it says try ChatGPT, and you click on it, you register, you provide your name, email address, password, and that's it. There is zero cost of entry, essentially. So you get in, you can start playing around with it, doing whatever you want with it. There are 2 versions currently available. There's a free version, which only provides you up to GPT 3.5, and it's very fast, it's robust. It provides you much of the information that you've heard about ChatGPT in general is going to be based on 3.5 and not 4.0, because 4.0 is new. The subscription version, which I believe it's called Plus, is a monthly subscription. It's $20 a month. I do belong to that, but I believe at this point you can't sign up for it either. I think there's a waiting list to get onto that as well. And with that comes, the reason I originally signed up for it and got access to it was because I was constantly waiting for, access because it'd be down sometimes. I'd be in the middle of research. It would drop off for me. So, I didn't want to deal with that. I wanted guaranteed access. So I figured, let me pay the $20 a month. In addition to getting guaranteed access to the site for the $20 a month, it also provided, which I didn't know at the time, it would provide all Plus users with access to GPT-4 once it was released. It wasn't even on the horizon as far as I knew at the time. So it certainly I didn't pay for it for that, but it is nice to have now. It's very technical. It provides a lot more logic and reasoning than 3.5, but it is slower in response. And in a minute, I'm going to go on to ChatGPT and show you the difference between the two models, and you guys will be able to see what I'm talking about. What are some of the features? It remembers previous responses and or prompts. So remember the whole thing with let me move this box over just a little bit so I can see you guys. So the whole premise with this is it's not just a response that spits out a bunch of information and then you call through it and decide what you like and what you don't like. You can, whatever question is that you're asking GPT, it responds to you and it's carrying a conversation. It understands the context of your questions. So if you had a question about, let's just say it wrote you an article and you went into the third paragraph of the article, and that third paragraph of the article, you had some further questions. You could just ask, hey, can you elaborate on, the third part? Can you get a little bit more detail about the third part? Actually, somebody just had a question that I would ordinarily wait till the end to answer, but because I just discussed the free and the paid versions, I think it's a good question. The question was whether ChatGPT has an iOS app or an Android app. Currently, OpenAI does not have their own versions of it. There are third-party companies that are integrating GPT into some of their skins or their versions of it and creating apps. Now, understand that you can just use the mobile web versions of GPT. I mean, there's I just saw last night there's complications for if you have an Apple Watch, you can get a Chat GPT complication for your watch and actually use Chat GPT wear your watch. And if that's conjuring pictures of Michael Knight talking to Kit through his watch, I mean, it's probably smarter than Kit was. And we know that wasn't easy, right? So you do have abilities, things like that. There's a ton of artificial intelligence out there. The one that everybody seems to be really worked up about at the moment is this particular version, this ChatGPT. So you might see other versions that are paid, but aren't necessarily the same. It will give you the same robust responses, but they're continuing to get smarter. So it provides responses and prompts. You can have a conversation with it. You can ask it to elaborate, things like that. You can have deeper responses if you're looking for further information. It has natural language learning. Like I said, you can have you don't need to have code. You don't need to learn how to program. Natural language generation. As I mentioned, it's got context awareness. You can you can say, well, I don't understand anything about what you said in number 3 or number 2, and it'll know what you mean because it's like having a conversation. You can do multiple things with it. It adapts as you go, and as you learn more about it, you'll start to see that what makes GPT even more robust and even better for your particular industry or businesses. It adapts to what you're learning and understands the general context of what you're asking it. And it's customizable. That's why you're starting to see things like Google's version of Bard now. Microsoft has an ownership interest, a large investment in OpenAI. So you may have heard that their Bing search engine is now using some version of this, and that's true. You can be customized. That's why OpenAI had this free version. It's basically an open API to allow people to utilize it however they see fit. And because it's so new, there's specific industry people will start creating different things that'll be more relevant for that industry specific based on this structure. So you're starting to see things like that in real estate now. You'll see more. I think you're going to see sort of like the larger companies adopting it in platforms, and say it's a Realtor.com platform or a Zillow platform or a top producer platform or any kind of CRM. I think you're going to start seeing more integration of these types of artificial intelligence, at the very least as chatbots. Let me see what the questions are here. All right, so you guys have some questions here, but I'll get to those in a second. So limitations. Here's the biggest one. It doesn't know anything past 2021. So you cannot ask it anything of any kind of current information. It's just not programmed to understand it. It doesn't know it. So that's one of the biggest limitations. A lot of time you have to be careful of what you ask it, because the responses are always confident sounding, but they could be incorrect answers. So if you're going to start just cutting and pasting, you could end up with something completely inaccurate. It's sensitive to prompts, and the word prompts is going to have a completely different meaning in this context. I just mentioned a few minutes ago that you don't really need to learn how to code in order to use GPT. I'm going to sort of negate part of that by saying that you need to learn how to use GPT, how to communicate with it, and the way we do that is a new term that we refer to as prompt engineering, and it's asking it the right questions in order to be able to get the answers that you want, and I'll kind of give you some examples as we go as well. But it is super sensitive. If you ask it as an example for sensitivity on prompts, GPT may not always, it sort of won't give you answers if it's programmed to not respond to something like maybe something of a sensitive nature. But if you ask it a question prompted a different way, for example, asking it in the name of a scenario. So here's an example. So I asked ChatGPT when I did the podcast what its favorite drink was, and ChatGPT's response was that it's an AI and it doesn't drink alcohol. So all I had to do was change the way I asked the question. I said, well, if you were a real person, what kind of drink would you like? And then it can answer it. So sometimes you have to create scenarios and it'll give you the response that you want. Plagiarism is the biggest one, right? So one of the things that got me interested in this was, those of you guys know I have a daughter, she's a freshman in college this year. The speed at which this became ubiquitous around college campuses, I thought was what was most interesting. When this all came out, remember I said November 30th, I got interested in it mid-December. She went back to school in second week in January. By the time she went back to school and started her new semester, she was required, in addition to signing her honesty and integrity letters with each professor, they added an additional addendum to it that talked about not using ChatGPT for purposes of essays, writing, and exams. So, the reason is ChatGPT is searching its database of language and providing you responses based on your questions. So if it's writing you an essay, the work that it's getting by nature of where it came from, it's not original work. It's work that somebody else has provided somewhere on the internet. So then that information is provided back and spit out. So you have to make sure that you're not plagiarizing when you use GPT. So how do you leverage it as a realtor? You can use it for social media. It can write blog posts for you. And I'll give you guys some examples. Write MLS descriptions. This is the one that everybody seems to be using the most. is writing MLS descriptions, and truly it is remarkable what it can do for you. Here's one that I think is a really good one to try. How about rewriting existing MLS descriptions? You know, if you got a stale listing, it's been sitting there for a while. Maybe you just put the information into ChatGPT. It'll spit out some new information for you. Letter writing. This is a big one. I had a friend of mine. Maybe you guys heard me tell this story on the podcast. They're a realtor that was looking to fire their client, but didn't have the right way to say it. So, and by the way, this is a published author. And that person went on to ChatGPT after we discussed it and entered that information in and provided an exceptional response on how to terminate their relationship with their client. I use it all the time. It's great for that purpose. Email writing, same thing. Can just provide that information, and it'll provide you not just what to say, but context of how you're saying it based on what you put, the information that you put into it. Drip marketing campaign. I'm going to show you guys live an example of how you can utilize all of this through a drip marketing campaign in a minute. User as a virtual assistant. So think about, you're with a client, you're in an open house, and somebody asks you a question. They're not sure what the value, what their monthly payment is, or what it would be for purposes of that property. You can just open up ChatGPT, put in, what would $400,000, what would a loan monthly payment be on a loan amount of $400,000 at 6.5% interest, amortized over 30 years. Boom, there's your answer. You can just give it right to your client. It would be an invaluable resource at an open house, or as you're looking at properties as a buyer's agent with buyers. Help it write or rewrite your bio. Right before we were going live here just now, I was talking to some of the staff at the Bucks County Association, and they're utilizing it for this very reason right now. They're using it to write their bio. You can update your bio, put it on your website, get more hits that way, get better descriptions. Script writing. I'll show you an example of this in the drip marketing sample that I'll show you live. Website copy. This is going to be a great one as well. Whatever it is you're trying to say across your website, it'll be much cleaner now. SEO, not only does it provide you website copy, but it'll provide you search engine optimization, including hashtag and catchy taglines. It reviews legal documents. I mentioned it passed the bar exam, right? So you can put it in there. Let's say you put in one agreement, and as an attorney, I've used this. You can put it in one document, and based on the changes that you suggested to the other side, you can put in the version they send back to you, and ChatGPT will review it and see what changes were made, and if those changes were actually made, or if there's something new that was added, it'll provide all that information for you. Text writing, you can use it the same way as you would for email. Also, even ideas of getting past the mental block. Let's just say you can't think of content. Have GPT provide you with 20 reasons to be a realtor, or 20 great things about buying real estate in Bucks County, for example. And it'll give you 20 lists. It'll give you a list of 20 in 5 seconds. You can take those and use those as a way to keep writing more content. And newsletter. All right. So remember I mentioned prompts to you previously. Here's some of the other things it can do. It can summarize long articles from the web. You can paste a long article from the web, put it into ChatGPT and put in TLDR. Those of you guys that don't know text lingo, that's too long, didn't read. And GPT will spit out a 2-sentence paragraph summarizing what was in that big article. In addition to that, you can ask a follow-up question to those articles. Hey, you wanted some further information based on what was in that article. GPT understands it. It's going to respond to you with that further detail. Let's just say you happen to be somebody that's into politics. This is a great example. It's a political newsletter or article. Now you want an alternate view. GPT will find and provide an alternate view on that article for you. I mean, it's amazing. Using it for research ideas, 20 facts about real estate, for example. Here's another one. This is one I use all the time as well. you write your own, your own letter, your own document. Now you cut, paste it, put it into GPT and ask it for feedback. It'll critique your writing. It'll provide you, better syntax, grammar, word choice, all of that in seconds. You can ask it to come up with a title based on that writing that you just provided it. You can ask it for meta tags and hashtags based on that, on whatever it is that you're writing. You can have GPT write your own personal book in a style that you want, in the genre of your choosing, and it can write your new chapter every single day. It writes poems, it writes songs. It does all of that in seconds. So let me just, before we move further, let me just see what these questions are. Okay, so let me just answer a couple of these questions real quick. So first question was, does ChatGPT only respond via text? For right now, yes. There was a rumor that with 4.0, you'd be able to respond by, you'll be able to put in pictures and it'll be able to respond that way, and also through speech. That has not been made available yet, but it may be forthcoming. I think I answered the next question I've been answering already. If you're submitting your own language to be edited, is that content confidential? That's a great question, Christine. So as of right now, I don't really know the answer to that, but I believe that that information is not confidential. What's the reason for limitation prior to 21? I don't know why 2021. I think that's just when they started inputting the information, and that's where they left it at when they programmed it. Last time it gave a wrong answer. How do you check this? Well, okay, so this is again, there's limitations, right? So that these are some of the limitations. You can't just cut and paste it. You have to be able to read it, what it provides you. It's a tool, just like anything else, right? You have to be able to verify the source and make sure that information is accurate. So you still have to do some legwork, but it's going to vastly increase your productivity and provide you information significantly faster than you would have done it on your own. Is a Siri on steroids? So it's an interesting question. Siri, people are really worked up about all this new information with ChatGPT, but artificial intelligence we've been utilizing for years now. We're just calling it different things. Siri, whatever the Android version is, I forget what that one's called. Clearly I have Apple. So whatever those versions are, we've been utilizing for years. These are just significantly better, stronger, way more information. Sherry said there's dark mode that might be confidential. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. I thought dark mode was literally just change the screen color, but I don't know the answer to that. Can you really show some real life? Yeah. So Joe, that's what I'm going to next. All right. So I'm going to give you guys an example of a drip campaign. Okay. Just hang on 1 second. So we talked about, hang on 1 second. I'm going to give you guys a way of what you could utilize today. So let's do this. Let me just cut. All right. All right. We're just gonna do it this way. All right, you guys should be able to see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So great. All right, so right now, what you see in front of you is essentially the welcome screen for ChatGPT. You see mine as the connotation plus, but the model choices, these are the choices of what I can select, right? and it provides you with some additional information on it. So it says, okay, the default for My Plus is 3.5. It's optimized for speed, and it's currently available to Plus users. Its reasoning is a 3 out of 5. Its speed is a 5 out of 5. Its conciseness is a 2 out of 5. The legacy version, it's got it. The reasoning is a 3, speed's a 2, conciseness is a 1. 4, look at that reasoning. It's a 5 out of 5. Speed is significantly slower, and conciseness is almost a 5 as well. So for purposes of this, we're just going to use the 3.5, right? But if you went on for the free version, your screen would essentially look the same. At the bottom here, there's just a bar where you just write, right? So what I pre-wrote in a Word document a drip campaign. Okay, the drip campaign is going to be a 5-day new buyer drip campaign. So I'm going to paste it in here. So here's what I wrote. All right, so I tell ChatGPT, look, this is what I want to create. I want to create a marketing campaign for a new real estate lead that inquired about a home on realtor.com. Make a 5-day plan in length with the following. Day 1, I want a quick email introducing myself. Day 2, I want a quick call script. Day 1 also, quick call script to introduce myself and discuss buyer's needs. Day 3, quick email confirming scheduled showing for the next day. Day 4, text to remind buyer. Text 5. Day 5, follow up on email. Okay, so let's pretend I just wrote that in. I hit send. Here it is. You guys, this is live. You guys are watching the speed at which it's providing this for you. How long did it take you in the past to create drip campaigns? And once it's completed, I'll go back and we'll look at it in detail. This is a 5-day drip campaign. All right, so let's take it from the top, right? Okay, so the first thing is, you saw the information I provided it. So here's the first thing it provided. Dear so-and-so, my name is blank, and I'm a real estate agent with blank. I'm reaching out to you to respond to your inquiry about the home you saw on realtor.com. I wanted to introduce myself and see if you have a few minutes to chat about your home buying needs. I understand that buying a home can be a significant decision. I'm here to help make the process seamless and stress-free as possible. Please let me know when a good time is for us to connect and discuss your home buying goals. Thank you for your time. I look forward to hearing from you. Same day, remember day 1, I wanted a follow-up phone call. Hello, so-and-so, this is blank, real estate agent, emailed you earlier today. Just want to introduce myself, see if you had a few minutes to chat about your home buying needs. Great, thank you. Can you tell me a bit about what you're looking for in a home? How many bedrooms, bathrooms, what type of neighborhood do you prefer? Do you have a preferred location? I appreciate taking your time, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Day 2, follow up and scheduling. This is an email. Thank you for speaking with me yesterday. I hope our conversation was helpful, and I'd like to follow up with you to see if you're interested in scheduling a showing for any one of the homes we discussed. Please let me know if you'd like to schedule a showing. If so, what dates and times work best for you. So now day 3, I went to confirm. Now the client scheduled, right? Day 3, hi, so-and-so, I want to confirm our scheduled showing for tomorrow at blank. I'll meet you at the property. Please let me know if you need any additional information or have any questions before the showing. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So now this is the day of the appointment, right? So I wanted it to be a reminder. Hi, so-and-so, this is blank. Just a friendly reminder, our showing for properties. Look, a mistake. Remember, this is supposed to be appointment for today, right? So it says, this is a friendly reminder that our showing for blank property is tomorrow at blank time. Looking forward to seeing you there. So here, this is a perfect example. So you have to be able to edit this and look at it yourself before you just cut and paste it. This text was supposed to be for today, okay? Then follow up and closing. I went to follow up and see how the showing went yesterday. Do you have any concerns or questions about the properties or anything else I can assist you with? Thank you for your time. Okay, so this was an example in 3.5. You saw the speed at which it worked. I want you guys to see how the difference in 4.0. Significantly slower, right? it's going to be more robust, but it's going to be significantly slower. See the difference here, guys? So there's a question that was a good question. Is if somebody else logs in and asks to do the same drip campaign, will spit out the same thing for them? Possibly. I mean, here's an example. This is the difference going from 3.5 to 4. It gives me a different answer. Remember, in the 3.5 version, I originally asked it on my first email to provide me with additional in the first email, when is a good time to talk? It never provided that information. In 4.0, it does. It says, I would love a quick chat to better understand your needs. Now, here's a full script. This script is significantly more robust. I received my email earlier. I want to quickly introduce myself, learn more about what you're looking for. And it provides you questions that you're going to want to ask in that phone conversation. What's your time frame? What's your budget? You know, what are amenities? I mean, these are real life questions that you would ask in your regular script. These aren't, you know, these aren't just some, you know, theoretical things that you would end up using. And then, you know, it goes on and on here. But let me see what other questions I have here. You can't rush perfection. That's true. That's why it took my mom 9 months to make me. All right. So, okay. So that let me just that I just want to give you an example of how robust that is, because I think that's a good example of how you see it working. Let me see here. Why can't I stop the? Here it is. Stop share. Let me just go back to. Where's the PowerPoint? No, I can't share PowerPoint for some reason. All right, we'll just do it from the screen. All right, you guys can see the PowerPoint, presumably, right? Okay, good. So prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is, you know, I mentioned to you guys previously, is a big thing right now. I just want to kind of give you a couple examples for different types of prompt engineering. What I mean by that. So here's a few of the 13 prompts that, you know, are sort of generic for any kind of business marketing. So open-ended prompts, it's, you know, you ask it to generate responses based on, tell me your experience with blank product or service, or what are your thoughts on blank product or service. You can ask it multiple choice questions. You know, do you prefer X or Y? Scenario prompts. This is one that I use a lot. It says, you know, type in prompts that require GPT to rank a set of items in order of, type prompts require GPT to provide response based on specific scenario or situation. What would you do if a customer complained about X issue? Or how would you handle a situation where blank problem arose, right? And it'll provide you a response to that. You can ask it for opinion prompts. Do you think whatever new trend or technology will be successful in the market? It'll provide you some response. Feedback prompts. What feedback do you have for my website or marketing campaign? You can input that information. It'll provide you that answer. Do you have any suggestions for improving it? Things like that. For real estate ones, here's a couple. There's tons of them, but just a couple that I wanted to give you guys examples of. So if you want to get marketing advice, a sample prompt would be, I'm a real estate agent that's helping a client sell blank amount of bedroom, bath, house in blank location. What are the best ways to use digital targeted marketing to get the word out about the property? You input that into ChatGPT, it'll provide you with a comprehensive response. Creating a sense of urgency when selling blank property. I'm a real estate agent selling a blank property in blank area. How do I create a sense of urgency, right? How about preparing for potential questions for your listing? I'm a real estate agent selling a home at 123 Main Street. What questions could prospects ask about a home that is 2,500 square feet and has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths? The home was built in 1995 and includes these features. And then ChatGPT will provide you with what kind of questions you could potentially be asked at that, I was going to say hearing, at that listing presentation. Listing description, write a 500-word description for 123 Main Street. The home is 2,500 square feet and has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. The home was built in 2008 and includes these best features. And then ChatGPT will provide it. Now, look, you can just put in your general information about your property without using these prompts. It'll still provide you some kind of response. But to get the most out of it, it's learning to utilize these prompts, what we refer to as prompt engineering, to give it the best ones possible. All right. We keep going here. So give you an idea how quickly it moved. So the 3.5 model that remember I gave you guys the examples, it uses about 3,000 words. GPT-4 uses 25,000. Remember, this all just happened. New features are industry specific. So you have different things that are changing and expanding. So they're using ChatGPT or GPT like interfaces for drafting of legal documents for attorneys. I think you're going to continue seeing that in the real estate world as well. All right. Look, guys, I was very limited on time, so I tried to do as quickly as possible. So I'm going to try to answer a few questions for you guys as we go. So what's the question here? So Shari has a question. Can it understand? Let's see. So here's how we're going to find out. I'm going to cut and paste. Copy. I'm going to go into, hang on.
So we can't see it, Alex. I'm not sure if you're okay. Just so you know.
Yeah, hang on. Let me see. Go back in here. I'm going to go right into here. And we'll go new chat. Here's your answer. Let me see here. Anybody else have questions? I can ask ChatGPT for you. All right. Nobody. Or is it that? No. All right.
I think people are processing it at this point still. So
Go over the sign up.
Kevin has a question. Kevin Giuliano.
Yeah. Oh, well, hold on. Go ahead, Kev. You're muted, Mr. Tech.
How about now?
There he is.
So a question, and Alex, I know you're forward thinking when it looks at technology, but what would you say is the best recommendation for agents to starting to get to use ChatGPT? Is it just sign up and go at it and start asking it stuff? Or what would you tell somebody to do to get started with it?
That's a great question, Kevin. Thank you for setting that up. We'll take this thing on tour. I would say the first thing is, sign up, go on it, and start playing around with it. I mean, the best example I would give is think about the first time you used the internet. You just went on it and started asking it questions, right? To learn how to utilize it. And I think that's the best way to do this. I believe that the thing that you guys are going to utilize it the most for, at least initially, is going to be writing descriptions of properties and things like that. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? This is, it can do a number of things, but I think that that's a great way to start utilizing it. But you'll come to rely on it a lot more. But it's it's like a calculator, right? But it just does text, writing, coding, all kinds of stuff. You know, OpenAI also has another version called DALL-E, which creates pictures and things like that based on text response. So you can ask it to input text response, and it'll create a picture for you. I mean, there's all kinds of things, and they're going to start trying to integrate the two of those. So there's all kinds of things that you'll be able to utilize it for. But look, you can go write your own stuff, or you can have ChatGPT help you. It's just like you can do your own math, but how many of you guys just go right to a calculator these days when it's time to do any kind of arithmetic? So it's the same kind of idea. Just start playing around with it. Let me see what these questions are. I did use it Monday to create 2 bullets. That's great. Is there any other question?
Question.
Is there an app? No.
Darlene Meekin.
It's
There's a
Oh,
few
let me-
in the chat, Alex.
Yeah,
I think Darlene
I'm
also
go-
has a question. Okay.
all right. So hang on. So Vincent, is it an app? No, it's not an app. It's through. You're gonna go to openai.com and then register. And it's free. It has nothing to do with BCAR. But if you guys want to pretend that it's a BCAR membership add-on bonus, we can say that. No, it's free. It has nothing to do with BCAR. It doesn't have anything to do with anybody. You can utilize it for free. Let me see. What is the most common searchable items within our real estate industry? What do you mean by that?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Meaning you had put some items up on your presentation here about just some of the most common things. Do you see rewriting, drip campaigns, things like that, bios? Are those the most common things within our industry that we as realtors are using it for? Or is the description, the MLS description write-ups, are they the most common? Content creation, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's giving you the answer as we speak.
There you go. Yeah, and I mean, I've definitely utilized this quite a bit already for a lot of that. I'm just curious how this can snowball and create a, try to make sure we are staying within the lines of, our industry.
I mean, you're going to see it. I think you're going to see a lot of more integration in platforms where it'll start becoming part of our daily lives, where maybe you're not able to answer a phone call at 1 o'clock in the morning, but on your website there might be a chat bot where somebody thinks you're on at all times, because that chat bot will be smart enough to be able to have full-blown conversations with whoever the potential client is. I think you're going to see a lot more of that type of stuff starting to come forward. Okay. Yep. There's the link. Hold on. Somebody else had a question. I thought somebody said I missed something.
Yes, I
There's
have
already
a
a feature.
question.
Yeah, Darlene, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Actually, I have 2 questions. So one is ChatGPT only for the US? Because I cannot get it on my computer that I have a VPN on. I have a VPN and Norton, and it won't allow me to bring it up. Did it say it?
From some of the, it doesn't say that it's specific to the United States.
So I'm just trying to figure out why I can't get to it. I get an error message.
It says anyone, regardless of their location. There's your answer.
So maybe Norton is blocking it?
Possible, but it just to bring up another example of what I was talking about, one of the benefits of this of utilizing GPT. Notice it knew what I was talking about. I didn't have to rewrite my question. I just said, "What about use?" And it further defined what I was talking about. It was as if we were having a conversation. I mean,
Wow.
I mean the To me, I find that to be absolutely incredible.
Right. And then like, what do you see, as far as the real estate industry, what other jobs might be coming about because of technology? So we have
Well,
like the prompt engineer, right? That's not
yeah. So,
necessarily real estate, but I hear they make about $300,000 a year. I
I
think
actually
I'm
didn't even
in
know
the
that it was a
wrong
real
industry.
profession.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know it was a real profession, but I think that, you're going to see, look, I think the biggest thing is that it's a tool, right?
Mhm.
That's good, that revolutionizes how we use and technology and how we communicate. And I think that those that are going to become scared of it are going to end up missing the bus. I think the idea here is, take the information and get on board, right? I mean, the example I used on the podcast was, how many people ran for the hills when they thought that that the MLS going online was going to take away their jobs. That certainly never happened, and in fact, probably opened up markets that most agents weren't used to servicing. Where here it's going to be the same thing. It's not going to, as an attorney, they were always saying that, well, this is going to take away jobs of attorneys. It's not, but I certainly think that those that are utilizing this type of platform to enhance their productivity or enhance their writing will thrive, and those that don't are going to be sitting in the back of the bus waiting for something else to happen, I guess. But I think learning how to utilize the prompts, that's kind of been what I've been working on now. I think is key. Yeah, and Kevin said, "Yeah, trust but verify." It's true. I mean, as soon as you saw I made a mistake in the drip campaign example that I gave, you have to just be careful on what it's spitting back out. You can't just cut and paste.
I think
Anybody
that's it.
else?
I was just thinking like what other technology, like blockchain technology might be coming in with smart contracts, but the prompt engineer, I had a event talking about, are you data literate? And that came up. And one of the people that were giving it said that they make about $300,000 a year as a prompt engineer. So there might be some other technology jobs that will come about because of all of the different AI applications, which would be something to think about.
Yeah, remember this
They
information is
were
from
correct.
2021.
100. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think she has the updated one.
Well, again, this is, I'm just spitting, asking you to,
Thanks.
Jane, no problem. Does it take a while to get the verification email? Let's see.
From 70 to 150,000. Depending on the factors mentioned above, additionally, companies may offer additional perks and benefits such as bonus option.
Jamie, I think B-Car is going to be sending out the presentation. Is there anything else we really should be cautious of when using ChatGPT from a legal sense? Well, again, I think plagiarism is going to be the biggest factor, and citing and or crediting work, and just making sure that the information that's provided is accurate. It can't replace humans, right? Again, Kevin used the perfect quote: "Trust, but verify it." Let me see here. I don't have access to your email account or any other person. See, it didn't understand what I was asking there. But again, remember, this only goes to 2021, so the information that's provided in there, it won't be able to answer a question like that because it doesn't have current information on how long it takes to verify within ChatGPT because it's new. It's after 2021. So Jane, I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I think I got mine within an hour or so, but I don't know how many people are still signing up regularly. So I think it's just a question of how quickly. I would also check your spam. All right. Anything else? Anybody else? I mean, we're a couple minutes over here.
Thank you so much, Alex. This is eye-opening, of course, and I think it's going to lead us down a road of more discovery about this phenomenal application. It's just amazing, and I thank you for taking the time to put this together because it's been very valuable, I know, for our members. So I think there are going to be a lot more ChatGPTers online, so it might slow the system down a bit, but that's okay. That's okay. It'll catch up, right?
Yeah, we hope.
We hope. Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate you coming out today. Keep your eye on your email and your communications from us for future sessions. And with that, everybody go have a great lunch and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Thanks,
Thank
Alex.
you,
Alex.
Alex.
Thank you. Thank you.